we'll see. I'm going to ask my colleagues to do the invocation today. I'm going to ask Councilmember Alex Montero to do the invocation, and I'm going to ask my colleague, Mayor Pro Tem Angie Reyes English, to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Mr. Mayor, can I defer to Pastor Greg over there, please? Pastor Greg, can you do the invocation for me, please?
You don't feel spiritual today, or what?
I delegate. He's the pastor.
Let's bow our heads. All right, Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for everyone here today. We do ask a special blessing just because you're cool on the city, on everybody here, the families, the friends, the relatives, the businesses, the school kids. Father, everything that makes this city work, we thank you especially for the city council and the police department and the city attorney and the city manager and all those people that work really hard to give us a really cool city. So we're grateful for that. And in this Thanksgiving season, Father, we just want to say thanks. Thanks for everything good that we have. It all comes from you, and we're really grateful for it. So bless this evening, we pray, and I ask these things in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
If we could please stand, if I could acknowledge all of our servicemen and women. If you could just raise your hand for those that have served. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Face the flag, put your hand over your heart, repeat after me. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, council members. Madam Clerk, the roll call, please.
Councilmember Manning,
Here.
Councilmember Montero,
Present.
Councilmember Patterson,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Reyes English, Mayor Vargas.
Here.
Everyone's present.
Okay, we have a, before we proceed with that, we have a special presentation. Councilmember Montero.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. Can I ask Mr. Luciano Aguilar to come to the podium right there, please? You know, as you know, this last week we celebrate Veterans Day on November 11. And believe it or not, Mr. Luciano Aguilar is a veteran because he served the U.S. Air Force for 10 years. So I'm going to read this proclamation. It's kind of a little bit longer, but I want to read it, okay? So bear with me, please. Okay, a proclamation honored Luciano A. Aguilar. Luciano Aguilar has lived in the city of Hawthorne since 1995. Upon graduating from the Luzinga High School, Luciano enlisted in the United States Air Force and began his 10-year career. There, he held position remained from translator in the jungle of Latin American countries to secure response leaders in the areas with resource vital to our national security. Luciano ended his career in the Air Force as a member of the presidential K-9 team, responsible for the security of various U.S. presidents, kings, queens, and head of state. And in the years following his discharge from the Air Force, Luciano returned to Hawthorne with his family. In 2012, Luciano was appointed to the Hawthorne School District Board of Trustees, serving the community as a board member for 10 years, creating opportunity for children such as the Hawthorne Family and Pet Extravaganza, a community event where kids learn to interact with animals. And in addition to serve the community, Luciano has opened his family business and nonprofit in the city of Hawthorne, the Presidential K-9, a dog training, boarding, daycare, and grooming facility. Through the nonprofit, the Dawn Project, his family has trained several service dogs to veterans in need. The exceptional servant has attracted customers from all over the country, bringing them to the beautiful city of Hawthorne. Through his time in Hawthorne, Luciano has been a great asset to the city and its residents, creating many opportunities. Therefore, the Hawthorne City Council formally recognizes and takes a great pleasure in congratulating Luciano Aguilar for making a difference in our city, country, and going way above and beyond helping our community. We take great pride in honoring and thanking you for your contribution and your service on this day, 14th of November, 2023. So you can join ourselves. Can you take a picture? Yeah.
Did you want him
All
to
right.
say anything, or?
Oh, you want to say something now or after?
I'll say something really
Okay.
quick. First of all, I want to say thank you for City Council and recognizing me. It's been an honor to serve not only my country but also my community. But unfortunately, I can't accept this award, not alone, because I didn't do this by myself. I left Hawthorne at the age of 18, and my wife Leticia followed me at the age of 16 to start our life. And so everything that I've done with her by my side. And so I'd love to accept this award or this proclamation with her standing by my side as well.
Absolutely.
Come on, Miss Aguilar.
I just want to say happy Veterans Day to all my brothers and sisters out there that have served our country. So, now do we go?
Yeah. All right.
You want to say
To
something?
the, to the chair.
Okay, go ahead.
To the chair? Yes. Thank you so much, Luciano. It's been great to just not only know you, but more importantly, know that you're a school board member. You champion our students and our teachers and families, and your love of pets and animals. And I know your wife's been with you all that time too, and continues to support, including our time in partnership with the City of Hawthorne for diving dogs. I think that was a great event, and I know a lot of us enjoyed that truly, especially the kids. And so we commend you and all your work and all your efforts, not only as a serviceman and your service to our country, but more importantly, as a resident of Hawthorne, and your continued efforts to not only engage the community, but serve those that you have done in your school board time, and more importantly, as a community member. So thank you to you and your wife both.
Thank you very much.
Chair. I'm quite impressed. I didn't know your background, and it's great to have you as part of our community. And thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day to all. And thank you for being a part of our city.
Thank you.
Can I ask all the families to stand up, please? Yeah. All right, you can join us. And also, I want to acknowledge Dr. Crank, the one is a school board member over there, Hawthorne School District. Welcome, Dr. Crank. So let's go take a picture. Anybody else say something? Miss Manny? All right.
Okay, thank you. Item number 1, rebranding program city logo, Tree Pepe, Smith and Associates. Just want to remind all those that are presenting that please attempt to limit it to 10 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, council members. My name is Kevin Bostwick. I'm the creative director at Tree Pepe Smith, and I'm here to present to you about the logo development that we have been partnering with city staff to create a new logo to reflect some of the new direction that Hawthorne is taking. I'm going to run through this. Please interrupt me if you have any questions at all, and obviously I'm more than happy to answer any questions when I'm done. So the first thing is to talk a little bit about the staff that were part of this development. We worked closely and kicked off everything back in April with the staff listed here. This was driven in large part by Mr. Norris, but also we had several other key voices. I'll talk a little bit more in a few minutes about some of the further staff input and feedback that was a part of this process. Unusual in my experience working with cities in this kind of development. The majority of staff has had a chance to provide their input and their insight into what resonates for Hawthorne. So as I mentioned, the first committee meeting was back in April, and that initial robust conversation dove into what the goals were for taking the existing branding for the city and rethinking what was possible and how to reflect where Hawthorne is going. That then also led into a level of discovery and research that was about the existing imagery and the history and the strategic plan. All these things go into the big pot, and then we try to distill out of that pot what can make sense. And I can talk a little bit more about some of the interesting things that happened in that process. But I do want to compliment the city staff for being really engaged. I've had other kinds of experiences doing this kind of work where it's one or two voices, and it just, that's not enough of a 360 view of things to get anywhere meaningful. So I appreciated that a lot. Just so you know that we went through 5 development rounds. By that I mean putting out some ideas, doing some explorations that included 10 different concepts, each with multiple color variations, font variations, all of that to try to sound out what felt right. And then for each round, we took the feedback from that and reassessed, went back to the drawing board, reworked, and I'm going to show you what we've come up with today that we feel is a strong representation of that whole process. As I mentioned, this recommendation is the product of valuable input and also a diversity of views. So not everybody on city staff comes at these things from the same point of view, and being able to build some consensus there was something I found personally powerful as well. So the first thing is to talk about the current logo. I have a slide here that's going to show some context of other regional logos, and some of it also reflects a little bit on the history of things. This logo is something that people know and are aware of, but consider how it might feel towards someone from outside, an investor, and how it might reflect the future goals of Hawthorne. And one of the things that in all these discussions that we've come down to is that it would be good to have something that we can use to put the face of the future of Hawthorne out there. And this is where we have landed. I'm going to let that sit for just a second. I know I have 10 minutes, but.
Okay.
And I can talk a little bit about how we landed on this.
There it is. The suspension was killing me. I'm like,
oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
I said I wasn't going to turn the page. I really wanted to just be surprised.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
so you did the reveal.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
glad,
That's why I was
Madam
like-
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we landed here and how we think it's a really great balance of some of what Hawthorne has been and how it's true to who it is, where it is, and where it's going. one of the things I always like to do is I just like to put things in context. So on that next page, you can just see the logo, how it might look and how it would change the feel of different things, your stationery, all that kind of stuff. I do want to point out that no city can wholesale switch out their branding. That there's hardscape out there, there's all sorts of things. Oh, Siri's talking to me. So it's more a matter of putting something out there, a new logo, a new vision, and then having that become the face of Hawthorne as you go on, without necessarily throwing out the past as you go along. As I said, actually was talking to Mr. Norris about this. I said that this isn't Coca-Cola. It's not. We're not trying to have a revolution and some giant marketing coup. This is about reflecting sort of the heart and direction of Hawthorne more essentially. And so one of the things that this opportunity also presents on this next slide, I can show that sometimes it's not just what the logo is, but having the chance to build out the assets and make it flexible in a lot of different contexts. And so that's one of the things we thought about in this development. And staff was very clear that they wanted this circular logo, but they also wanted something that really emphasized the name of Hawthorne. Your chief of police was very clear that he wanted that. He wanted that on the cars. He wanted that to be very clear that this is Hawthorne speaking. If and when we get to that point, obviously there's all sorts of other little uses. You need to have versions that look good on your mugs and on polos and all of that kind of stuff. So that's all something that's been thought about. But essentially, what's more important when I'm talking about this recommendation is this process of where we landed. If you keep the picture of that recommended logo in your head, I just want to say, we started out by saying we wanted something that was more modern, that reflected more of the kind of work that is being done here and the kind of people are here who are moving forward. You're hardworking and there's industry, but it's no longer about smokestacks, it's about battery stacks, it's about a new kind of tech and a new kind of aerospace and all of that. So we initially considered the idea of what if we just did a really simple, modern sort of letter H, something like that. And I have here a little sample of that's something that Downey has done. And we quickly realized that didn't say enough, it didn't do enough, it didn't reflect the identity here. One of the things that I'm really happy about where this recommended logo has landed is how it sits amongst all your neighbors here. So I can click through and you'll see all the logos on the physical printed page, but here I can sort of bring them up on the presentation part by part. To the inland side of you, you can see that there's a very particular kind of logo, and I think you would probably be able to see that they feel dated. I honor them, actually. They reflect a lot of hard work and a lot of industry and a lot of sort of real sort of city presence there. Mm-hmm. But it's, you can see when you look at the logo we have, and particularly if I bring up the next, you have on the other side the beach cities, which have the ocean and the brightness and all of that sense to them. And I feel that this recommended logo, we've found that true place where Hawthorne is close to the sea, but it's also hardworking. It's real. It's a place of real things happening, not just waves and seagulls. Just finishing out the slide, to the south, you've got your peninsula cities, and then down around the harbor. So when I bring all those together, I feel that this is something that speaks very truly about the region, about who you are and where you are. When I was talking with the city about the logo and the meaning of it, one of the things is that they use this phrase that the past is in the logo, but it has a modern twist. We've created a more modern vision. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the different iconography that's buried in that scene, but in general, there are little elements in there like the airport tower that are part of the history and exist in the current logo. The staff was clear about wanting to maintain the yellow ring around the outside as a nod to the history of the existing logo, but also clear about moving away from the sort of color palette there. The blues and golds and the white create a very clean, sort of modern color combination. There's a sense of sort of sky and air and things like that that are in this that I feel are important. So the specific iconography that's in the logo, I've got a few of them highlighted here. And I don't want to overstate it. This isn't like everything's a big metaphor and everything is really direct, but it is important to see the pieces and how they come together to build that feeling of the overall scene. So I mentioned the tower at the airport. That's history. That's a big part of what has been in Hawthorne and will continue to be in Hawthorne. As I go down the column on the left, there's a sunrise and the clouds. As I said, the air and the clouds, that's partially about, it sets the scene for aerospace and for the airport, but it's also optimistic and forward-looking. You can see that there's a small rocket, which that's obviously a nod to the aerospace and an update of the plane that is in the existing logo. We've got City Hall, where we all are, the water tower, important services for the community. We've reflected even in there. You'd have to look pretty close at the logo, but there's Public Works is in there and little icons. We've got community services with some of the architecture from Memorial Park, a palm tree because this is California, and then the flags in there because of the pride that we have for where we live. Staff was very clear that the impetus for creating this logo was so that we could better reflect Hawthorne as we execute on parts of the strategic plan, on your economic development plan. Honestly, any plan that you have, any new initiative where you're reflecting a true, new, fresh view is important. That's where this logo would come into play. Specifically, in the minds of staff, these big projects, these big changes that are happening, to them, this is all wrapped up together with that. They wanted something that reflected some of these capital investment projects that are happening. From the sort of creative side, I see it more as a description of how people are thinking and not so directly about that, but about how they're feeling about where they live and where it's going. But that's the thing about a logo is you're trying to do something that speaks and resonates to multiple people at once. So it's our hope and our recommendation that that we would be able to come back for final approval of a new logo at the December 12th meeting. And the idea there is that that would allow us to kick off in January and begin rebranding those initiatives and campaigns where it made sense. I thank you for your time, and I'd be honored to have any questions.
Okay.
You want to go first? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for putting in all the work, staff, yourself, sir. And I think this is a good thing. It is a good thing. But I want to give I don't want to use it. I start off with the word but, right? Sometimes you say if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think our current logo has a lot of great qualities. It's talking about the change of seasons. It's talking about the airport, aerospace, that we're an industrial town, and that we're we have a big variety of people from different careers. So yeah, things have changed. We've had the the space aspect. You know, we've had other developments and things that represent us. So the first thing that I'd like to see a few things before we even make a decision, to be honest with you. I mean, you have this page right here where, of course, this is nice and big. How about reducing that to equal size to see how it compares to the other neighboring logos and have our original logo somewhere in the mix too, so we can see how our new one and our old one compares to the whole variety of logos that we have. I think we need to do that. One of the things also that I noticed, each of those logos has one single component, like either like a bridge and a sail for Redondo Beach, you know, waves and sunlight for Hermosa Beach. Carson has kind of close to us with 4 different components of their like different sectors within their city. Single components, but for for the proposed new logo, we jumped from our 4 elements to 8. The iconography has grown from 4 to 8, so I personally think that it's very busy and nothing becomes distinctive. That's why I think it's important that you reduce it so we can see how it looks on a smaller scale. How's that going to translate over to our marketing campaign or whatever business cards my colleagues have, staff has, and how it's going to look? We need to see it in its reduced size to see how the change in the reduction of size, how it changes its resolution. Personally, I think. And for me, I know staff is a very important element to our community, our employees. But was the community consultant? I would like to see the community consultant having something in the form of charrettes or something. This is our old one. This is our new one. Maybe a couple of other versions of this, because ultimately we can count the number of employees who actually live in the city. We all live in the city. The people in the audience are the ones that live in the city. We need to have some contribution and some approval to this whole thing. So I like to see this taken to the community in the form of charrettes and maybe some a quick public forum. If it's not 1 meeting, maybe 2 meetings, and over and done with, everybody stamps it off. We're all invested in this, so I think we need to contribute. So I think it's a little bit busy. I'd like to see how it compares with all the other ones in a reduced size, and I like to see some charrettes and community, maybe 1 or 2 community forums. But it looks, the color schemes look really good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, first, thank you for coming, and thank you for giving us some insight into what's potential for Hawthorne. I like it. I've been part of the staff retreats. I've been part of the discussion. I've listened to other staff, and the whole idea of the future of Hawthorne in building a new civic center, in building new community space, more importantly, seeing how we have changed. Our city has changed. All of these recommendations were brought by staff. There's great buy-in already. I think what we need to maybe do is look at this in a square, just like we have on our board, a square versus a circle, see how that maybe looks. But the whole idea of change, everything that's been incorporated here is Hawthorne, including the community center, the airport, City Hall, our tower, obviously, and our public works, and the skyline, which is, you know, the future for Hawthorne. And so I like it. I know there's a lot of work and effort that was put into it. That's maybe one thing I would like to see is it look what it looks like in a square. But the whole, you know, the one that we have here in the back, and it shows some of the city topics, which include, you know, obviously a working community, maybe a community of work and still, which would be our airplanes being built in the early years here in Hawthorne, Northrop. The airport, obviously, a plane flying in or flying out as the sun comes down. I didn't necessarily know the other picture that's there. I see leaves and I see raindrops, but what is that significance behind that, right? I've always thought that. It's kind of like you sit there and you just, and even now that you introduced this to us, I'm sitting there even harder and harder and just looking harder. But I think it's great that we're looking to not necessarily improve Hawthorne, but grow Hawthorne. And there's a lot yet to come in Hawthorne, and I hope the residents could see that. And I know change is often hard, but sometimes that change could really make a difference on the outcome for our city and how we're thinking bigger. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. So I will say that I don't think the mayor's suggestion of simplifying it is a bad suggestion. You know, focusing on one or two kind of themes. But with that aside, my first impression of it was I thought it was gorgeous. I think it stands out in a great way over and above our current one. I think we've had our current logo for a few decades. And so I think rebranding is a spectacular idea. I think updating our image is a great idea. I do love the color scheme. I love the rocket going through. If I had to vote on it today, I would vote for it. I think it's great as is. But, you know, I'm just one guy, right? But that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Go back to the second slide where the image is, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your presentation. I agree with my colleague, Mr. David Patterson, that when you look at it, it's beautiful. It is. I like the color scheme, you know, because I love blue, and then with this yellow kind of orange sunset type, it's good. To me, when the mayor started talking about that it was too busy, maybe I was looking at it. Because if we're going to design a new city hall, right? Because we think about designing a new city hall, I would probably get rid of all these buildings on the bottom. Because, you know, every city have a city hall. Every city have a community center, right? So it doesn't need to be there. Mm-hmm. So the landmark is the one that have to be highlighted, like you did, you know, the airport tower, the rocket, the water tower.
Absolutely.
Right? But the building, I don't think it needs to be there, okay? The only other thing that my heart is ache a little bit is that logo we have there, the City of Good Neighbors. That's the only part that is ache, because I would like to see it incorporate somewhere in there. That's my opinion. But at the first hand, it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's great feedback.
To the chair.
Yes, go ahead.
So when I initially looked at this, I was thinking that the buildings, it's a lot going on. And for me, when you make it smaller, you can't really see the details in terms of really being able to see that it's a street, that it's trees, a stop sign, a building. Because it's all blue and it's really not defined to me, it does look busy, and it's really hard to know that it's more than one thing. When I initially looked at it, it just looked like blue and white lines, and I had to look a little bit closer to really see how defined it was, to see the building and all of those things. I do agree with my colleague in terms of the good neighbors. I was looking for that. And then also, I probably would get rid of the building as well. I love the color scheme. And then as far as the rocket, I was just wondering, do you have other examples of logos where they have things outside of the actual circle. I like to see that because when you mention cups and shirts and stuff like that, having that logo with something outside of the circle or the square, I'd be interested to see what that would look like. And so those are my recommendations. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Councilmember.
I'd like to go back on mine. The busy part, I guess, it was echoed with a couple with my colleagues, right? I think the color scheme is beautiful, to be honest with you. I think what distinguishes ours immediately is that rocket ship popping out. It's like, oh, that's Hawthorne's. Oh, that's Hawthorne's right there, you know? I think I know what you're talking about. If it's a circular stamp, is it easier, it's less costly to produce or something? But there must be some, I suspect that it's probably not going to cost more to have something that's outside of the circular dimension. So we have the rocket ship technology. We have our water tower landmark, right? We have our airport, something that clearly distinguishes. We have the palm trees. We're next to the ocean. We have the sun and the rising above the clouds. It's like that's very symbolic. I think those are important elements. Maybe there could be one single element that could replace the buildings and not just do away with that. And it's completely, okay? Because you'd have a lot of dead space there if you just had with a big old cloud and just have the,
Yeah.
right? Do you see how that,
but
once we remove that,
The
that would,
seat of good neighbor goes right there.
where incorporated 1922 could be the city of good neighbors in white.
No, well,
Absolutely.
And then, so as part of that, just a quick, I just want to just get some, our staff is working real hard. You got some of our feedback. I mean, if we can find a way of just allowing the community to just give feedback also, I think ultimately we'll make the decision and what we think is best, but, hearing some of the community in the process. Maybe if you're going to have a working meeting, you could have it here and invite the community, just send some notices out real quick, and we let them be part of it in whatever way.
To the chair. I was just wondering, is there a way to define the building more where it stands out more? Because it just blends in, so it just looks like a lot of lines. So maybe if you can define the building more so that it stands out.
Absolutely, and I want to thank you all for your input. It's almost like you've done some of this before. I don't know. You've put your finger on two different things: creative parts of it, and then there's some practical execution parts of it. And I want to just say that the practical side. So, for instance, including a version that has the option of the slogan, including smaller ones that are simplified so that they show up, for instance, in embroidery that doesn't hold the same level of detail. That's all part of the brand execution once you have a design direction. So those are all things that you've put your finger on that are important concerns. I think the creative responses that you've given have been insightful, and particularly around the buildings, and I will leave it to Mr. Norris to advise on how we navigate that, how we navigate public input. I actually really enjoy those kinds of sessions, so I would relish that opportunity myself. But I can't right now respond to each one of those concerns, but it's something that I can put back into the bucket, and we sort of swirl it around a little bit, and we can show you some things. Mr. Mayor, particularly your request to see things comparing more apples to apples in terms of sizing, and some would, I think, also be helpful for you to see, because I am fully confident that this stands out. Councilmember Manning, your comment about the rocket coming out, that's actually one of the things that I think adds a dynamic difference to it and makes it so it has this feeling of being sort of a seal and it's round, but then, you have this rocket shooting out of it, right? So that's actually intentional, and I'm glad that you noticed that.
A quick suggestion, as opposed to having like an alternate, as opposed to having like a public meeting is that we could have the charrettes comparing the current logo and the new logo outside in the City Hall lobby. We could have like a box where people could give their feedback, and we can just invite the community to come to City Hall and take a look at stuff, like, right? After the next council meeting or after another opportunity.
Yep.
And that'll give us whatever feedback that maybe there's certain things that we didn't think about, and that maybe the staff didn't think about. And like that idea, right, Mr. City Manager? It makes it much easier.
Great input. I'm just happy to see everyone taking, time to look at the logo and give their opinions, and I'm happy that everyone's happy with the start of the design, and there's still room for improvement, so thank you.
And to check, maybe even put it on our website. People can
Yeah.
just go in there and comment.
Yeah.
On our page, web page. It'll be easy, so they don't need to come to City Hall. Yeah.
We have the current logo, the one we have behind us. We have this version, and then you guys could work on maybe a third version that based on the feedback that we gave, that you could have all side by side, and we'll see how they match up.
Absolutely.
Right? Vote for your favorite logo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then we'll just go, oh man, we got to keep the current one. Oh man, shoot, all this work for. No, just kidding. I'm pretty sure people are going to be really excited
Maybe
about
at the Operation Gobbler, we can have folks.
Sir, realistically, how quickly could you incorporate some of the suggestions that were made by my colleagues, myself, for a third logo? I mean,
So relatively quickly, but I want to be careful about overpromising and also not stepping on the toes of staff that put in a lot of time. And I don't know exactly what date you're shooting for, but
whatever time you need to be able to make something that's well thought out, I think.
so
It could go immediately on the website, right?
It's true. That's true. So I would defer to Mr. Norris on what the plan there would be, but on our side, it can happen pretty quickly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I find that these conversations are actually sort of different and fun. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
We accept the direction in which the logo is going. That's pretty much
Yeah.
sounds like it's
Thank
a common.
you. Great job.
thought.
Thank you.
Thank you, staff. Let's give a round of applause to staff, the agency, and our city manager and city attorney, and all those people responsible. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
A new day. New day and Hawthorne.
Okay, so we're gonna come up with a city theme song, or is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely. Got to have a theme song.
we got to get a committee for that going. The City of Hawthorne's local business program for Hawthorne Local Business Update, South Bay Workforce Investment. I'm
good.
very interested in this one, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Michael Trogan. I'm with the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. I'm filling in for our director, Jan Vogel. He's under the weather, unfortunately, today, so I'm going to pinch hit. So just to give an update of where we're at with this program, back in the summer, June and July, we started outreaching to businesses, getting them to apply for the various services under this grant. At that time, we got 11 businesses to apply. Unfortunately, found out that several of those businesses had participated in the business card program. Some of you remember we did last year, and so they weren't eligible for this new program. So we had to outreach to new businesses and different businesses from that original group. So fast forward to about 2.5 weeks ago, the last week in October, we got a list of 20 businesses that had applied and were approved for services. We began outreaching to those businesses, talking to them, doing follow-up. We encountered a little bit of challenges because it had been, 3-4 months since they had applied, reminding them of what they had even applied for. And then there was also some confusion. Some businesses thought they were just going to get money directly. They had applied for this program, they're going to get $5,000. Said, no, that's not the way it works. So we've had several calls and meetings explaining to them how the program works as we identify services, and then on behalf of the city, we pay for those services for them. So in doing that, we reached out to those 20 businesses, and we've been able to confirm with 14 of them, and we're proceeding with the various services that they've requested. 2 businesses, they're looking for upskilling their current workforce, incumbent worker training. So we've looked at like one business wants to upskill, like they're going from marketing to catering. So they're looking for business to actually train their staff in doing some culinary work. And another business is just looking at general business management for their staff. We have a whole list of eligible training providers that we vet and make sure our quality training providers. We're going back to that list of those approved vendors and then offering the businesses their choice of vendors on that list for those services. Additionally, there's 2 businesses that want financial management training. We're doing the same process. We've gone back to our list of approved training financial management vendors and have offered those to those businesses, and we're waiting for them to get back on which one they want to go with. We had 7 businesses that want grant writing in assistance with applying for grants, but what we found out in talking to them is it's not just the assistance in writing the grant. They don't even know where to start. They're not sure what grants they want to apply for. So we've had to take a step back now, and we're actually looking to identify grants that they can apply for. Things like there's, small business grants through the county, things like that. So that process is going to be a little bit longer because we realized they didn't know what they wanted. We have to start a little step back with them. So we're working with those 7 businesses. We have 3 businesses that just want storefront improvement, so we've referred them back for the storefront improvement funds. And there's 6 businesses, and actually, when the report was written, there's 6 businesses we haven't followed up with. Just today, we got in contact with 2 of them. They needed translation services, so we had to assign a bilingual staff to talk with them. So hopefully we'll have an update for them. And so that's where we're at. 14, we've confirmed what they want. We're now working to get them those services and options of what they want to do.
Sir, good?
Yep, I'm good.
How was this program advertised? What was promised? What was the pamphlet or whatever? The market, how was it advertised? What was the wording used?
So that was actually done through a different consulting firm called HDL, did that component of it, and then we used those applications recruiting tools to contact businesses in our network.
What could you tell me about that, Mr. City Manager? How it was advertised, what kind of wording was?
Item 19, if I recall, we have Ken Duran from HDL that can expand on that question.
Okay. Because I did receive a call from a couple of those groups that said, hey, you know what, they said that it wasn't as advertised according to them. And I can see their perspective. I mean, if there's $5,000 worth of services that's going to go benefit a company, maybe some people just need to make the payroll. Some businesses need to make the payroll. And if it's going to benefit them, hey, this is how we feel that it's going to benefit us. And it's $5,000 is going to go towards helping them. It could be through training. I don't, maybe we could reconsider the limitations on that and how it's dispersed and how it's just initial feedback. Okay,
and we're definitely open to any of those suggestions. We're just going with the parameters that.
No, sure. But the reality, I did get calls from 2 people, and they said that the wording. So I definitely like to see the application. Is somebody here from HDL? Yeah. This falls under his presentation. We'll wait 2 years, sir. But if you could just get whatever the marketing tools were, just ready just for that part, okay? So, go ahead.
Through the chair. But, thank you for coming anyway. But because I was always in the community, and I saw, some of your colleagues go around and promoting the program. They went to the Kiwanis Club meeting. I got mails in my office at the York School, at the Hatomus Lodge, at the South Bay. So I saw the marketing that you guys did. So I'm not understanding correctly what the mayor is asking.
There was okay.
Because there was some specific guidelines how to get this business involved, and then because it was a HAPA money, it was a federal grant, so we have to be specifically how to apply this money to. So I'm not getting the whole idea where we're going with this.
I received calls from the community members with concerns as to the marketing for the grants. They thought it was a grant. Now it's apparent that it's not a grant, that it's for services to improve their business. So what I want to do is see what the marketing material looked like, because if all it is the applicants misread what was being offered, then it's too bad. They just didn't read carefully. And if it was promised as something and then it turned into something else, I'd like to find that out.
And that was, sorry.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense, right? But I was under the impression we had a grant program that's separate from this program.
Maybe they applied, maybe this individual that called me, or these two individuals applied for the wrong one, maybe.
That was the general feedback we got, was they thought they were applying to get grant money directly. And so that's why over these last 2 weeks, we're really had to go back and return and meet with them multiple times to explain what their options are, what the services are. And like I said, we are getting, people engaging and still want the services, but it is just kind of explaining and resetting what their expectations
And
are.
it sounds really good, though, that a lot of people are are taking the services and are going to be benefiting from it. I'd just like to, just small clarification on that element that's has questions about it.
Sure.
But I'm happy to see some of these numbers, that we have, because the beginning, we were having difficulties recruiting people to come for this program. So now it's good that we have, 25 participants on the immersion. We got about 215 card value of 5,500 was purchased to give to the business. So at least, I can see that you guys are making an effort to reach out, and we got people applying, because at the beginning we didn't have no people applying. So it's good to see that people now are interested, and you guys are providing the service that teaching them how to access the right grants or the right amount of money. So thank you for that.
To the chair.
Yes.
Thank you. My question would be around the communications of, Spanish-speaking, bilingual, maybe some that needed more assistance than others with regards to the barriers, the communication barriers, language barriers. So that's kind of where I'm sensing that maybe the reason some felt that they needed to call council to tell them that maybe that wasn't their expectations, et cetera. I see that being the issue, in general. At the beginning, there wasn't much of an outreach, but there was, in a sense, and we did get response. I wanted to know, because South Bay Web was on the agenda previously, a couple weeks ago, with regards to contract, and there was a dollar amount, and from what I understand, because Mr. Vogel called me himself, had questions, and I had questions. That's the reason I paused with regards to moving forward with the, approval of your contract. That those that were identified initially weren't necessarily passed along down to you. So, what was maybe the delay there, or what was the communication issue there? So that was kind of where I just want to make sure that we're all on one accord and we're all trying to make the same effort with regards to providing the services that we have to those businesses that are interested. That's my whole thing. If we need to do more bilingual, let's do that. If we need to see what type of brochures, literature that was given out that maybe had both bilingual Spanish and English, let's see that. Because I don't necessarily believe that some didn't know. I just believe, again, it's just a communication that they maybe just didn't understand it because it was not in their language, et cetera. So if we could just work together, HDL, South Bay Web, to just coordinate efforts, and if there's anything more that Vaughn needs to, city manager needs to add to that, let's do that. But I think there's already great effort here. This is something that we've never done in the city. So I think in the long run, businesses are benefiting. And I think there's a lot more that we could benefit from, not only those businesses, but more with regards to assisting businesses in their needs. Because there was a 3-year, a very sad 3 years that businesses went through a recession because of, the obvious. But it's going to take more time than just the period of time that we had to promote the program. So I look forward to doing that and providing more to those businesses that need assistance. Thank you.
Sir, wouldn't the definition of the word grant mean that it's money that's going to be given directly to a business? A grant is...
Yeah, if you applied to get a grant, usually you would assume that you're getting funding for whatever amount you applied for.
To do whatever you need to do with it, right? Okay, so then there's a big conflict.
Mr. Mayor, I would ask those two individuals to maybe make contact with me, and I can explain and actually investigate what the issue is. We do have several funding opportunities. Some are grants, some are federal grants. So grants does mean money, but there are restrictions on all different type of grants. So I would ask if I can speak to those individuals that called you to explain exactly the process to investigate the issue here.
At the same time, could I get the marketing, the applications and whatever marketing information there was?
Yeah,
Just so
that-
we could
that
sort
would-
it out?
Yep,
And just so that everybody can go away happy on this?
Yep, and that will,
Yep.
from HCL, yep.
Okay.
And through the chair, just because since he representing South Bay Whip, last Thursday night we were in Torrance where the city of Hawthorne actually received these partner awards from the South Bay Whip because of the service that we are providing in partnership with the South Bay Whip, especially the business assistance programs that we create through the HAPA money, right? So again, I want to come, say that thank you to Jen Vogel and the board for recognizing the city effort to put money into the people's pocket. So especially to the business, because we know during the pandemic they struggle. So and now we are trying to get people to move forward. Like these 33 business. That 5 employee retention grants, 15 grants, application assistant grant, 10 marketing assistant grant, and 3 financial planning grants. So thank you for this award for the city of Hawthorne. We appreciate it. And tell Jen, thank you again.
I will, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Human Resources Director, Mrs. Lampkin. You're going to be speaking about the Good Neighbor Award presentations.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and the remaining council members. Tonight, I'm going to present to you the October Good Neighbor Award nominees. Will the nominees stand when I call your name? Our first nominee is Madeline Francis, and she is nominated by the police department. I will read the highlights for her nomination. Madeline has an unwavering dedication, extensive knowledge, and exceptional commitment to both the Hawthorne Police Department and our community, making her a true asset and an exemplary colleague. Madeline's journey with the Hawthorne Police Department began on March 1st, 1993. Throughout her remarkable tenure, she has exhibited a level of dedication that extends beyond the call of duty. Her commitment resonates not only with the organization and the community, but also with her coworkers, making her a true beacon of unity and support. Madeline's profound understanding of the organization's intricacies, particularly with the Traffic Bureau, showcases her expertise and passion for her work. Her grasp of the day-to-day operations in the office, coupled with her invaluable knowledge, has consistently contributed to the efficient functioning of the department. Currently, Madeline's role as an overseer of office personnel and her management of vehicle releases and customer service processes highlight her dedication to ensuring seamless operations. Her meticulous approach and attention to detail contribute significantly to the smooth functioning of critical processes. What sets Madeline apart is her exceptional ability to empathize with individuals who find themselves in challenging situations, such as facing citations or having their vehicles towed. She approaches these situations with a positivity and charm that eases the process for everyone involved. It is heartening to witness the genuine appreciation she receives from those she assists, reflecting her dedication to providing exceptional service. Madeline's unwavering commitment, positive attitude, and charm align perfectly with the values of a good neighbor. She exemplifies the traits of compassion, professionalism, and community engagement that define this accolade. Her contributions not only elevate the organization, but also touch the lives of individuals within the community. She is undoubtedly a valued member of our organization, and her efforts deserve our sincere appreciation. Thank you, Madeline.
Did you said 1993?
1993.
You look too young to be 30 years working at the Hawthorne School of the police department. Wow.
Our next nominee is Catherine Alcantara, and she is nominated by the Housing Department. Catherine is currently also participating in the city's cross-training program, where she is learning the management of the city manager's office. From day one, Catherine has displayed an eagerness to learn and to work. She has shown herself to be trustworthy, dedicated, positive, goal-oriented, motivated, loyal, and a self-starter. She is consciously involved in every aspect of the housing department, including working after-hour city events where applicable, such as the Year's World Fest. Catherine exemplifies the city's core values daily. She constantly goes above and beyond to assist internal and external clients. She operates with integrity in the most professional manner and is highly respectful to everyone. Catherine is fully accountable and takes constructive criticism well. She is an asset to staff, as we all rely on her for one reason or another. Catherine is the type of employee you would like to clone. She keeps the office functioning and has become an invaluable team member. She is an example to follow and stands out as a leader. Staff is comfortable seeking assistance from her, and she provides correct information while preventing critical mistakes from happening that are within her authority. Catherine is easily regarded as one of the housing department's top achieving employees. Her work ethic and ability to manage her time efficiently while doing multiple tasks is remarkable. She also does a great job directing temps and interns. Catherine deserves to be acknowledged for her hard work and dedication. Thank you, Catherine. And our final nominee is nominated by the IT department, Ms. Peggy Holt.
Peggy.
Peggy has dedicated over 3 decades of service to the city of Hawthorne, having joined the organization on July 29, 1991. Her unwavering commitment and exemplary support have left a lasting mark. She also showcases her creative IT Halloween decorations, consistently earning her top honors and bringing joy to the children and city staff during the annual tours. Peggy undertook a formidable task, transitioning from the outdated Eden Enterprise Resource Planning System to Munis, a task that demanded extensive effort, coordination, teamwork, and patience. Her diligent maintenance of the system and prompt professional resolution of issues exemplify her dedication. Peggy's impact on the community extends to her regular website updates, enhancing the city's efficiency through her proficiency in enterprise resource planning. She significantly contributes to her department by embodying the dependability and expertise in her profession. What truly distinguishes Peggy is her unique skill set, marked by efficiency, a willingness to roll up her sleeves, and a generous spirit when it comes to sharing knowledge with her colleagues. Her goal-oriented approach is a testament to her exceptional work ethic. Thank you, Peggy.
Thank you.
After reading those, I'm sure you all will agree with the committee. It was very challenging to decide who would be the winner. All 3 ladies are Good Neighbor Award recipients. Let's give them a round of applause. Ladies, come up and get your certificates.
Wonderful.
And take a picture. Yeah.
Take pictures with them. Ready?
You're free. No.
Yeah, you were a little angry this when you got here.
Angie. No, we're good, guys. We're good. I'm okay. Of course. All right, guys. Let's get to work.
I just wanted real quick, Mayor, just express my congratulations to all of those that were honored today, from all the departments mentioned, and thank you to our HR director for acknowledging again our people at this point of the month. And I'm going to miss Peggy. I know she had great decorations downstairs. I went downstairs and I took a look real quick. I sneaked down there prior to October 31st. The kids that came by and got their treats, the decorations were amazing. I know her sister helped, and it's something that she's made a tradition of. And so we're going to miss that. That was one of her last holiday decorations. We're going to miss that. And also to our staff at Hawthorne PD for the work that you do in our community and just the years of service, of dedicated service. I just want to acknowledge you all again and thank you for everything that you do in helping Hawthorne be better. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. All right. Madam Clerk, the guidelines for oral communications, we still have to do that, right?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.3, all remarks should be addressed to the City Council as a body and not to any individual council member. During oral communications, speakers shall have 3 minutes to state their business. The Brown Act prohibits the City Council from providing a detailed response or acting upon any items not contained on the agenda. The governing bodies as a body shall have the discretion at the close of oral communications to refer any remarks to the city manager for study, investigation, report, and/or recommendation.
Thank you. I have no cards. Were there any cards filled out? Okay, anybody who would like to speak, please form a line. Please. Ma'am in the back. Lady, you could come up first, ma'am.
Good evening, Council. My name is Leticia Varga. I live off of 120th Street, right across the Hawthorne Airport. And since I moved back in 2020, I've experienced a lot of, when it comes to traffic, when it comes to the transients on that street, it's getting worse every single day. I'm a firm believer that you can't provide all this information without data and numbers. Luckily, I was actually able to get the reports today from CHP regarding accidents, speeding, all that's going on 120th Street. It's a big concern because when there's an accident every single month, and it's a safety issue, like when my husband was there doing a little bit of gardening, one of the pucks actually, and you guys finally removed those after plenty of attempts to ask for those to be removed. It actually almost like hit him in the face, knocking his cheekbone and nose. Luckily, that didn't happen. But now even our neighbors, where there's children, they don't even go outside anymore. They're always in their backyards. They're no longer in the front yard. And growing up, we used to actually go across the street to the airport because there wasn't a fence. And back then, there wasn't that much traffic prior to the 105 freeway being built. So it's properties that my family has owned since the 50s and 40s. We actually have 4 properties on 120th Street. So our houses are very much affected by this, our neighbors. And so all we're asking is to please consider remodeling 120th Street, possibly like the Del Air side or the side by Crenshaw and 120th where it should be 1 to 2 traffic
Ma'am,
lanes.
can you give us your, if it's okay, could
Sure.
we get your address so I put it in my,
Sure.
my map? And I know
One
exactly
of my addresses is 3717, but they, yeah.
717 and
Yes.
120th?
Yes, 120th, but they go from 3711, 1517, and 20.
So is it all right next to each other?
Yes.
I just kind of want to see
Thank you.
what you're talking about here. Do we have Akbar here? Akbar, yeah. Can you talk to her and just kind of sort
Hi,
this out?
good evening, Mayor and
And
Mayor
what do you
Pro
got?
Tem and Council
Sir.
member. Yes, we are looking for 120th Street. Right now, we are in the phase 1 construction of the traffic signal from Felton all the way to 105 freeway. We are working with Carlton to see if we can do double left end to 105 freeway. and we are looking to similar type she asking is under study. Our traffic engineer, they look at to it to see if it's possible we do that.
For 120th Street.
Yeah, on
Across the
120th Street
airport,
from
right?
Perry to 105 freeway. We are looking to do that. Basically, we need to go to general plan and discuss it with city manager and the chief about that, and we prepare plan. Is in process of engineering, and after completion, we submitted for construction. First, before we submit it, we get council approval.
Okay, yeah, so I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to engage you in a full conversation. We were not supposed to because Orca, can you just make sure that you keep her in the loop as much as you can, just so that they don't wonder what's going on, please?
Sure,
Make
I will
contact,
say,
please.
give her my information.
Thank you, Ms. Leticia.
Okay, so that's, can I
you
just
just talk
say
to
a
him.
final thing though?
Real quick,
But
because
really fast,
we
just
took-
thank you
we
though.
took your time.
Thank you though, because you guys did fix the, what do you call it? The alley on 120th Street, because it was really bad. It was horrible. So thank you for that. That's all.
Thank you, ma'am. If you could talk to him and make sure he gets your number, you get his. And we don't want to keep anybody in the dark. We just want to make sure everybody's just aware of what's going on. Pastor.
Hi, everybody. I just want to remind you, if you do not know, we have a luncheon on Thursday at the Memorial Center. You're all invited. It's the Thanksgiving luncheon. And I wanted to invite you guys as well. I know you're all busy and important people, but if you have some time, love to have you come and get a big fat plate of turkey. You're all welcome. The flyers are going to be in the back, and I'd love to see you guys there.
Okay. Mr. Ali. Salam.
Greetings. Greetings, Hawthorne City Council. I'm Abdullah Greg Ali from the Islamic Center Hawthorne. I'm the community outreach person there. First and foremost, we condemn the initial attack on October 7th for the civilians of Israel. Our true Islamic teachings are totally against involving innocent civilians in war casualty. Do not kill any old person, any child, or any woman. Do not kill the monks in the monasteries, and do not kill the people who are sitting in places of worship. I'm here to encourage everyone to contact our government representatives and ask for a ceasefire in Palestine. This is not a religious conflict. It is a genocide of a people. Enough is enough. We are begging for a ceasefire. The situation is grim with critical shortage of fuel and aid to the people there. At this pace, schools, neighborhoods, hospitals, shelters, and refugee camps face relentless bombardment. Indifferent to the sanctity of human life, the toll continues to rise, over 3,000 lives lost, with a staggering 70% comprising of innocent children. This paints the haunting picture of crimes against humanity. We're not pro-Israel, we're not pro-Hamas, we're pro-life. So I encourage y'all, if y'all can, I don't know if you can get together and have a petition to sign for a ceasefire for the saving human lives. We have a brother here, our brother Muhammad, who's been in community. Everybody knows him, police, City of Chambers, Kiwanis Club. He's from Palestine. You know, his family's there. So we just, for all the sake of humanity, we call on a ceasefire. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor.
Next speaker, please. Time change. Reset. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Mo Awadallah, President of the Kiwanis Club, and also I'm the new elected President of the Muslim Democratic Club of Southern California. So I just want to talk about what's happening back home. I do have my family that live back home. I have my kids that live back home, my uncles, aunts, basically all my family, except my sister lives out here. I don't want to talk about numbers because numbers is a lot, but let's go back to 2020. We had the pandemic. Remember when we all went on laptops? It felt like it was the end of the world. Right now in Gaza, half of that city is destroyed. So the kids there don't even have schools. The hospitals are out of gas, out of water, no power, nothing. And what happened on October 7th was horrible, but now it's a nightmare. Richmond, California, and North California passed a resolution in support of ceasefire. Vote was 5-1. You have Cudahy that supported ceasefire in Gaza, also the whole Alameda County. So I'm asking you, as a city of good neighbors, to please either, have a resolution or send a letter to our elected officials, to the government, to Joe Biden. It doesn't matter where. Just send it so we can have these people, please, go back to their normal lives. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie?
Good evening, everybody. This is getting ridiculous. This is the second incident that happened on El Segundo. Besides that 13-year-old boy that was killed on Turo and El Segundo, I happened to be at the church when we had the accident. There was an AA group having a meeting. Gentlemen, I heard it. I came out running. I heard it sound like an atomic bomb went off. A vehicle coming from the Hawthorne Boulevard direction, from what I heard, that she was doing 90 miles an hour going down Hawthorne El Segundo Boulevard. She hit an elderly couple, and she claimed that they ran into her. Well, compared to what the car looked like, more like she hit them, and doing 90 miles an hour. We got to do something with the traffic on El Segundo Boulevard, because it's getting so ridiculous out there that, I figured you guys would learn when the 13-year-old boy was killed on Turo and El Segundo, that you would do something to stop the morons that's driving 90 or drag racing down El Segundo Boulevard, because every night you'll hear motorcycle drag racing, cars drag racing up and down El Segundo from one light to the other, either from El Segundo, from Hawthorne to Inglewood, or Inglewood from Hawthorne. I hear it every night. People using, El Segundo as a drag strip. And this is, was it going to take another life to before the city does something about it? I've lived right behind the fire station. I can hear the screeching of brakes. People driving like maniacs. We need to do something about these more people. I was going to say one thing, but I'm not going to say it. But that don't have no class or respect for other people. I happened to help the family of the two elderly people to get their stuff home, or take the elderly family home since their car was destroyed. But I got a very well call from the family thanking for my response and making sure their parents was not hurt or injured. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak before the city council? If not, I declare oral communications closed, so ordered. Madam Clerk, your consent calendar.
Mr. Mayor, I have 3 items on the consent calendar. They are items 4 through 6 for your consideration and approval. Item 4, approval of waiver of full readings of resolutions and/or ordinances on tonight's agenda. Item 5, approval of City Council meeting minutes for the special meetings of May 11th, 2023, and October 16th, 2023, and the regular meeting of September 12th, 2023. Item 6, City Treasurer requests approval of the warrants for November 14th, 2023 for adoption.
I move.
Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
The ordinances, please.
Ordinance item number 7, ordinance number 2240, second reading. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawthorne, California, amending chapters 17.04, 17.14, 17.16, 17.18, 17.19, 17.22, 17.87 to be in compliance with the housing element and establishing new chapters 17.85, housing overlay, and 17.101, standards for specific uses in compliance with the housing element for adoption.
I'll move.
Second.
Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Item 8, please.
Item 8, ordinance number 2241, second reading. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawthorne, California, amending the city zoning map to implement the new housing overlay and other policies of the 2021-2029 housing element for adoption.
I move.
Second.
Please vote.
And the vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Item 9, please.
Item 9, ordinance 2242, second reading. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawthorne, California, establishing a new chapter 17.100, multifamily and mixed-use objective design standards of Title 17, zoning of the Hawthorne Municipal Code for adoption.
I'll move.
Second.
Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council members voting yes.
Item 10.
Item 10, ordinance number 2243, second reading. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawthorne, California, establishing a new chapter 16.64, urban lot splits of Title 16, and establishing a new chapter 17.102, two-unit residential development and urban lot splits of Title 17 for adoption.
I move.
Second.
Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Item 11, please.
Item 11, ordinance number 2245, second reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawthorne, California, amending section 5.92.120, existing nonconforming uses of Title 5, business regulation and licenses, and using the common sense exception pursuant to CEQA for adoption.
Move.
Second.
Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Item 12.
Item 12, ordinance number 2246, first reading. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawthorne, California, amending section 2.17.040, terms of office of chapter 2.17 Youth Commission, amending section 2.18.040, terms of office of chapter 2.18 Civil Service Commission, amending section 2.19.020 members of chapter 2.19 Veterans Affairs Commission, amending section 2.20.040 terms of office of chapter 2.20 Senior Citizens Commission, amending section 2.22.040 terms of office of chapter 2.22 Park Recreation and Fine Arts Commission, amending section 2.28.090 terms of office of chapter 2.28 Planning Commission of the Hawthorne Municipal Code, and making a finding of exemption in compliance with CEQA in connection therewith for introduction.
I'll introduce.
Okay. Next, we have the city manager's consent calendar.
To the chair.
Item 19.
Can you pull 14?
Item 19.
Well, not yet. We're gonna, once we go to that batch,
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
do this item 19.
Can I actually pull 19 for discussion? Yep.
Go ahead.
Presentation too.
Go ahead.
Ready for discussion?
Yeah, you could do it now.
Can I just make a request or ask a real quick question? Travel time. Vaughn, city attorney.
Do we have other contracts within our city jurisdiction that charges for travel time to city? I'm talking about, say, for instance, contracts that have been given to consultants, given to engineers, given to, if they're required to present in council or they're required to work on a project on behalf of the city, are they costing or are they charging the city for travel time from their destination to City Hall?
Typically, most consultant agreement does require payment for travel time.
Is this something that can be done via Zoom, or do they require to be here just because they had a presentation? I'm talking like, for instance, with working with department heads, or working with, say, for instance, moving forward on, you know.
Most meetings that require the presence of each department heads can be done by Zoom.
Okay. I've never heard that. I mean, do our attorneys, outside counsel attorneys, charge for travel time?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Okay. I just want a better understanding, because I've never seen that.
Not all, but most do.
I figured if they're so, how should I say it? If a proposal is made to the city, right?
Yes.
And there's an RFP and there's several proposals, and entity A wins the proposal, I would think that they would be like thankful for the actual consultant contractual cost that they won in the award, right? But to have to charge us again for traveling here, do they put that in their proposal? I'm just curious. When they make a proposal, do they say we will charge the city for traveling fees?
Well, so each consultant agreement is different, and the RFP is something that is more for public works kind of projects. But usually there's a standard of practice of billing for outside law firms. They do charge for travel time. You know, it may be different. We have contract attorneys that do not, so it all varies. Depends on the agreement.
I just want to hear that. Thank you.
Do we need the presentation? Kevin Durant, Mr. Ken Durant? Should we Oh, I thought we were.
I thought we were at 19.
We're at 19.
You guys jumped. It was item 23, the presentation.
I have.
I pulled 19 for discussion.
Well, we're taking 19 out of order for presentation. Go ahead, Mr. Duran.
Not 19.
The business assistance services under the Hawthorne's Business Assistance Grant Program.
Just clarification, it was item 23 that he was doing presentation, correct, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, that's correct.
Item 23, no, 19 doesn't have no presentation.
But what I would ask is to allow Mr. Ken Durant to present item 23, and maybe some of your questions for 19 will be answered inside his presentation.
Let's please present for 23.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I apologize. I don't see my presentation on here, but I think you have it in your handout.
I have it.
Yep.
You know it by heart? That you could tell us? We could look at it over here?
You ask, hey, you ask. Really? This is what I'm saying.
I think, I'll kind of really gloss through the presentation because I think you had some very specific questions that you raised earlier. But just to kind of go back through, I'll skip the gift card program and really focus on the grant program. If you recall that we did a business needs assessment survey a year or so ago, where we asked the businesses what were your specific needs that you had based upon your impacts from COVID-19. And those needs were where we developed the categories of assistance that we developed the grant program around. So they were very specific that the businesses had a specific need, and that we were going to provide a grant service to allow them to get services to meet that specific need. And that's how that was developed. So it was never intended to be a $5,000 grant that was going to be just given to them that they could use for their own however they wanted to. And so that's why we developed the program around using two consultants, the WIB and also Trepepe Smith for the marketing component, to provide those services. And then we would reimburse those third-party providers for after those services were provided. That was the structure of the program. And all the marketing materials and all the applications were in English and Spanish. And so there was, and we had our staff, when people were applying for the grants, who would walk people through who had questions about the application process or the way the grant program worked. During the application, the applicant actually had to identify which type of service they wanted to apply for, so that they were aware that they were applying for marketing assistance or financial assistance or employment assistance. So we feel that the information was very clear, and we can definitely provide you all the marketing materials and the applications so that you can see how that was presented to the businesses as they were going through the process.
Thank you. Thank you.
So as the representative of the WIB indicated, there had been some lag time from the beginning of the application process to now. Part of that was due, if you remember, a couple of months ago, we came back to the council because there was also the program for rental assistance, and there weren't a lot of applicants in that pool. So there were funds that we said we could reallocate into the other business assistance programs, and the council asked us to extend the application period for an additional month. So we opened up the application period to allow for more businesses to apply. So that was one of the reasons why there was such a longer period from the initial application to the application deadline. So once that deadline occurred last month, we were able to finally vet the applicants. It took some time for some of the applicants to get all the materials in that they were required. For example, they needed a business license. Some of them didn't have a license, so we had to walk them through that process. So it took some time for us to get all the information we needed from the applicants to be able to finally have a list of those that are fully qualified. Then we gave that information to the WIB, who started making that contact a couple of weeks ago. So that's where we are with those business assistance grant programs. And then item 19 is the contract, or the amendment for the contract. You already approved a contract with Trepepe Smith to provide the marketing assistance, but they had more applicants than that wanted that marketing assistance. So the amendment on item 19 is to amend their agreement to expand their contract to allow for the 10 applicants that are looking for marketing assistance. So that's the reason for the amendment on item number 19. So those are the business assistance programs. We also had the rental assistance program, which was a $5,000 grant, which was to go towards businesses that were arrears in their rent, and that money was being paid directly to the landlord to offset a portion of the arrears amount that those tenants or those businesses and tenants had. To date, there are 8 businesses that have been qualified. And actually checks will be going out to the landlords for those 8 tenants this week. So that program, after the end of this week, will be closed out because you will have 8 successful businesses that are receiving that $5,000 grant money that's going directly to their landlords. So the business assistance programs administered by the WIB and Trepepe Smith, those programs are, as the WIB representative indicated, they're underway in making contact and providing those services. If you approve your item number 19, amending the contract with Trepepe Smith tonight, we will contact them tomorrow and then put them in contact with the 10 businesses that are requesting that marketing assistance services tomorrow, and then those services will begin. So that's kind of an update of where we are. I hope I answered some of the questions that you raised earlier in the meeting. If you have additional questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those.
Yeah, real quick to the
Yes.
chair. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification, and thank you for your time.
Again, I will just express the disconnect with regards to language barriers. If there's a bilingual language barrier where, we need assistance with that, because I'm hearing, South Bay Web saying there was some need for bilingual. And then if you're going to be expanding additional resources to some of those other businesses, and we fall into that same category of potential issues with regards to translation, we want to be on one accord that everybody's getting that information in the language that they need. And so that would be my main concern, and that would, if you could satisfy that and tell me that, I'm fine.
Yeah, and I spoke with the representative from the WIB in the hallway just after, before he was leaving. We're going to connect tomorrow. As I said, all the information was in Spanish and English. Our staff was bilingual, so if they had questions that they needed, assistance in Spanish, we were able to provide that. So I'm not sure where the disconnect is, but we will definitely work with the WIB to make sure that that's not a problem, and we'll make sure that we work with Trepepi Smith going forward as they start to make contact with the businesses on their end, if there are any language issues, that we make sure that those are addressed as well.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Duran. Actually, your presentation make it very clear. This program has been very successful, and that is what we wanted. It was to give this money to the people that were struggling. Like you said, 8 landlords going to receive $5,000 each for the rental assistance for their business. So that's a tremendous impact. And then for 10 other business to ask for marketing plan, that is good, because that's the way they're going to expand their business. So to me, and that is why South Bay WIB gave us the partner award, is because this program have shown a success rate. So to me, what we said about a year ago, our goal was to give some of this money to the business partners, to the community, and it's coming to fruition. So thank you very much for this, because I know it took a little time to kick off, but now I see that your labor with the South Bay WIB and with the other agency is paying off. So thank you very much, and I'll make a motion on 19, okay?
Second. Please vote.
For item 19, the vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
So that discussion also included item 23. I'll make a motion on item 23.
I'll move.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Does any of this have to be read into the record first before we vote on it?
It's under the consent for the.
Mr. City Attorney, do we need to go back? At least on 23?
I thought it was red. It wasn't not red.
I don't think it was.
Okay, well, just for.
Can you
why don't
please
we just go
recite
ahead and read it?
19 again?
Item 19, approval of amended agreement with Trepepi Smith to provide business assistance services under the City of Hawthorne's Business Assistant Grant Program.
I move.
Second.
There was a motion and there was mayor with the second.
Yeah. Well, since we did
Do
it
we have
again,
to read it?
motion and then second over there. Yeah, let's just do it like that. Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Can you read item 23, please?
Item 23, American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, Economic Development Programs Update.
I make a motion to accept the
Second.
update. Do I have a second?
I did second.
Okay, please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
All right, so
Thank you, Mr. Duran.
items
Duran.
13 through 24, with the exception of 23, can you read those?
Item 13.
Which one did you want to pull?
14.
14 for discussion.
Items 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, and 24, can you read those?
All except item 14
Yeah.
And
the
item
two we
23.
voted for.
And
and
19.
24.
We couldn't take the notes quick enough?
Yeah, so
Okay.
no, she doesn't need to read.
Okay, item
go ahead.
13. Agreement between the City of Hawthorne and the Regional Integration of Intelligent Transportation Systems, RITS, for the next-gen countywide signal priority CSP upgrade and expansion, and the I-105, I-405 Integrated Corridor Management, ICM project. Item 15, progress payment number 4 in the amount of $180,666.72 due to Elecnor-Belco Electric of Chino, California for Hawthorne Boulevard Mobility Improvement Project, Phase 2, Project 23-01. Item 16, progress payment number 7 in the amount of $763,517.87 due to Elecnor-Belco Electric of Chino, California for Highway Safety Improvement Project Traffic Signal Upgrade and Reconstruction 120th Street Improvement Project, Prairie Avenue to Felton Avenue, project number 21-06. Item 17, award of contract for Northeast Hawthorne Mobility Improvement Project, project number 21-05. Item 18, agreement between the City of Hawthorne and Harrison Associates for development impact fee reports. Item 20, heat pump water heater program agreement. Item 21, award of contract for City of Hawthorne Housing Rehabilitation Project, project number 23-09. Item 22, approval of purchase of 2 2023 Ford Explorer vehicles. And that concludes.
Oh, 24 also?
Oh, I thought we were pulling that one. No.
No.
Yeah, for him, right?
Oh, you wanted to pull 24?
No.
Oh, 24.
Okay. Item 24, progress payment number 2 in the amount of $256,432.55 due to Best Contracting Services, Inc. of Gardena, California for City of Hawthorne-owned building roof rehabilitation project number 23-06.
I make a motion for all items recited.
Second.
Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Discussion on item 14.
Yes, I just wanted to ask the city manager if I can get more clarification on number 14.
Yes, Chief Tomatani.
Good evening, council member. So we are the city of Hawthorne, and mainly the Hawthorne Police Department, we're currently providing supplemental law enforcement services for special events that occur in the city of Inglewood on a reimbursed basis. And after further review with legal through our city attorney's office, there was a concern that those services don't fall under the normal mutual aid agreements, and therefore some official law enforcement action that Hawthorne police officers might take in the city of Inglewood would not be covered in terms of liability. So the cautious move was to take out a secondary insurance policy to cover us in case we do have to take law enforcement action under the agreement that we have with the city of Inglewood. And that's what we're requesting tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, quick question. Chief, but this amount will be paid by the contract with the city of Inglewood, right? So when you make it will be add-on, or it's something that cannot be done?
It will eventually be an add-on. Right now, what we are going to use are funds from the reimbursed account that Inglewood pays back to the city of Hawthorne to cover this policy.
All right, okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Can I make a motion?
Second.
Please vote. Did I vote?
Councilmember Patterson, did you vote?
My thing not working anymore?
You
broke
doing
it
the
is.
thing again.
He's got a special way of voting. Look at
The
that.
vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Oh, yeah. We'll just ask you to hold it down while they reveal it, just so that, we don't see no last minute flickering going on. City Attorney's consent calendar.
City Attorney's consent calendar, item number 25. Deny claim of Albert N. Rubio. Item 26. Deny claim of Kenneth Lamar Jerome Tucker. Mr. Mayor, that concludes the City Attorney's consent calendar. May I have a motion to approve items 25 and 26?
Motion.
Second.
The motion, the second has been given to the Mayor Pro Tem. Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
We saw what it said. Thank you, Councilmember Patterson. All right, discussion. Artificial intelligence discussion by Mayor Pro Tem Racing. I want to see what this is about.
Oh, well, it's seems to be a hot topic these days, AI.
artificial intelligence. I know I recently learned that, and by the way, let me give kudos to our IT personnel. I know it's there was a month that we celebrated with regards to acknowledging our IT specialists and those that work in the computer field. And I say that wholeheartedly because we're now in a different type of time in our city, which is artificial intelligence. And what is exactly AI? It's become a catch-all term for applications that perform complex tasks that once required human input, such as communicating with customers online or playing chess. The term is often used interchangeably with its subfields, which include machine learning and deep learning. This is all new to me. I know it might not be so much for those younger generation. However, how is AI used? AI is being used in a wide variety of industries, including today, healthcare. It's being used to develop new drugs and treatments, diagnose diseases, and provide personal care. It also is finance. In finance, it is being used to detect fraud, manage risk, and provide investment advice. What is AI in simple terms again? Artificial intelligence, the science of making machines that can think like humans. It can do things that are considered smart. AI technology can process large amount of data in ways unlike humans. The goal for AI is to be able to do things such as recognize patterns, make decisions, and judge like humans. That's kind of like where we're at with regards to this new technology, this new field. I bring that up early on in our city of Hawthorne for the simple facts that AI has become a new technology, a new way of doing business. And how would AI work in a city municipality, government, if you will, to either help us along in things that we need assistance with, whether it be automized telephone greetings where you're calling and you're being, accepted by an AI technology, if you will, responding to your call, asking how they could assist you and what department do you need to be transferred to, these types of abilities. Not to take away from the human aspect of it, not to take away from the things that we've been trained here recently with regards to customer service, things that we may be still having to grow with regards to courtesy, if you will. But these types of new technologies are something that are growing fairly quickly in settings such as government, such as municipalities, and as I mentioned, other industries. So all I want this evening is to ask our IT personnel, those who are already familiar with AI, those who are potentially possibly using AI in our city already, to provide a presentation in the next city council meeting so that we could all witness exactly how AI works and the new endeavors it has in the future for our city. AI is also being used in the city clerk's offices to do dictation, to take minutes versus, say, having to do it manually. It's also being used in PrimeGov and other services such as Granicus, PrimeGov, similar, in the city clerk's office that has been able to transcribe and do things that an individual such as ourselves that don't have the speed, if you will, of typing as quickly as maybe AI does. And it's just something, again, that we need to grasp. But first, we truly need to understand exactly what it is, how it could help us, how it maybe not be able to help us. So all of this is important. Again, it's it's new technology. It's a field that only those in expertise would have knowledge on. And so the discussion is basically to bring those that know about AI and present to us how maybe AI is already being used here or not, or how we could maybe implement AI to assist us further in governing and more in the city clerk's office or possibly other departments. I know it's a sensitive topic. I know it was one that was, you know, heard about in the news quite often with SAG-AFTRA, you know, the movie industry, where AI was one of the discussions that took place with regards to how it's being used among actors and those to duplicate, you know, voices, et cetera, things like this. But again, it's for the expertise of the city that we have here today that could come and give us a presentation and provide that. Again, I know it's a sensitive, I wanted to conclude by saying, I know it's a sensitive topic, and I know it's one that speaks to replacing, you know, the workforce or human beings, right? That's not something that I'm trying to do. I value our workforce. I know how hard it is these days to just, you know, keep a roof over your head and provide food to your family. That's not something I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to bring the future of what most businesses and corporations and industries are already doing and potentially has on city government, and want to just be able to get in front of it.
Okay.
So having said that, I will direct staff to bring to us a presentation around AI, speak to Prime Gov, and let us have him also provide a presentation on how that's already being used to transcribe and do other things in the city clerk's office and potentially other departments. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 28, thank you. That sounds like good. It's a pretty scary topic, actually. Item 28, Montero.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mine is less complicated than. Actually, it's for us to consider canceling the meeting on November 28th and also on December 26th because of the holidays. So we'll
You have a motion?
We'll have one meeting in December
Second.
12th.
Okay, go ahead and make the motion.
I made a motion.
I second.
Thank you.
Please vote.
The vote reflects mayor and council voting yes.
Traditionally, we do that, folks, so it's not like something new. How did Councilmember Patterson vote? I just barely looked up, and I didn't see anything, so. All right.
Oh, so we're doing two?
Can we get his thing just looked at again? Thanks. The button. All right, thank
November
you.
28th and December 26th?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Let's do the official elected officials reports so that we can go back into the closed session and come back out and just adjourn the meeting, and everybody could go home before we come out, right? Ms. Treasurer?
No, that's
I know.
Christmas.
Oh, December 25th is the
That's
big day, man.
Christmas Day,
Jesus Day.
isn't it?
No.
Yeah, 26.
Okay, Ms. City Treasurer, your
Thank
report?
you. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. Congrats to all the Good Neighbor nominees. Thank you for your continued hard work. Kudos to Mr. Luciano for his recognition, and thank you for your service. I'd like to acknowledge the staff and a great effort on working on the new logo. So I thought it looked great. I want to thank the Magic Johnson Foundation and Mr. and Mrs. Antoine Jenkins for providing some of the community members for their food giveaway this weekend for Thanksgiving. I've done one every year for the last 15 years, and with the help of Katrina Manning in the past and David Patterson, I've always done one out of Cimarron, so nothing's changed, still doing one every year. This is my 15th year in doing that. So it was nice to get an assist from the Magic Johnson Foundation this year. Thank you to the Westside Food Bank for their assistance as well. I also did a 5K walk with them, and another 5K walk to end shoelessness for the homeless. It was a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, I have been working with the Los Angeles Rams and their literacy program, bringing them to Cimarron to read to the student body sometime this month. The date is not set in stone, but we're all looking forward to that, to having the Rams organization out at the school. Oh, I wanted to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Prayers and peace to those who have loved ones afflicted by the Gaza-Israel conflict. Many prayers to you all and what you are all going through and struggling with your families and loved ones over there. I know many people personally afflicted by that, so it's been hard to see that struggle amongst both sides. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Any reports? Any reports? Any reports from the city clerk's office?
No reports.
Oh, wow, you wanted to get out of that real quick, huh?
I am Diana. I am Diana.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Montero.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. Just let me say, the thank you, Erica, for bringing the good neighbors, the three outstanding ladies. You know, if you put all the years of service together, they pass 100 years of service. So that's a fantastic. That's a fantastic. Just to FY, we got a thank you note from Jeff Brank, you know, the county assessor that came here the last meeting. Also, I participate in the 100th year of the sanitation, the Los Angeles County Sanitation District that was held in Carson. I was there to represent the city. Also, just a good news from the Clean Power Alliance. You know, those of you who have the 100% clean and renewable energy, you're going to get a discount on your bill sometime in December and January. So at least 1.5% decrease in your electric bill. So those of you who got Edison is going to go up. So just keep looking to that. Also, I participate in the South Bay COG, Volunteers Award ceremony that was held down in Torrance. And also the South Bay COG did launch the pilot program for the travel network in El Segundo. I know they're trying to promote travel network into, the small carts, like the golf carts. People can go no more than 25 miles an hour. So maybe that's something you can look to do in El Segundo Boulevard, right? Slow down the traffic. But it's a pilot program, so they would love to, spread to other cities. So we'll see what's going to happen. Again, I want to congratulate staff, Vaughn, and the housing department, and all the staff from the city, especially because of the award that we received from the South Bay WIP on their 38th annual award ceremony last week. Also, I want to say thank you to City Hall because you guys hosted the children from the preschool, from the castle. They came for the Halloween, and it's always a fun day for them because they come on the bus. Then they come and do visit all the departments and get all the candy. So they were very excited about that. So thank you for that. Just a few announcements. I know Mayor Pro Tem is going to do hers, but the Chamber of Commerce is having a Thanksgiving food giveaway on November 21st at 1 p.m. November 21st at 1 p.m. at the Hawthorne Memorial Park. Actually, it's the Betty Ainsworth parking lot on Dory. The entry is on Dory, okay? So November 21st at 1 p.m., I'm going to be there helping them. Also, Bel Air Baptist Church. Right here on 4951 West 119th Place, November 17 at 10 a.m. They're going to give food and turkey and food that is going to be almost for 2 weeks supply. So November 17 at 10 a.m. at the Del Air Baptist Church, 5951 West 119 Place. And of course, it's that John Jefferson Church. And don't forget the Hawthorne Loan Administrator Association is going to have the lunch on Thursday, the 16th at 11:30. And I'm not going to give, and Mayor Pro Tem is going to do something else too. So I would say, let's maybe talk about to create, send a resolution to our federal government to ceasefire on that Gaza Strip, because like Mr. Ali and Mr. Muhammad said, it's a lot of families have died. It's not just the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Yes, Israel have the right to defend themselves, but at the same time, when we see that there's almost 11,000 people have died in Gaza, especially children and women, and there is a humanitarian crisis going on over there, I would support ceasefire, and I would support for us to pass a resolution to send to maybe give it to the Congresswoman to deliver to the White House. Who knows how far that would go. But I know it is a lot of suffering going on around the world. So for this Thanksgiving, we should pray for peace and also have a wonderful Thanksgiving in this great nation of us. We have freedom. At least we don't have no wars. So when you think about Thanksgiving coming up in 10 days, so pray for peace and love in the world. So thank you and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Councilwoman Manning?
Thank you so much, Mayor. I too confer to what Alex Montero said as far as peace, and I would definitely like to convene our meeting on behalf of the people. Also, I had an opportunity to attend Congresswoman Diane Watson 90th birthday celebration along with the Life of Service. And you can imagine that everyone from all likes was there to celebrate with her. And she was the first U.S. first black woman to take that position. So it was an honor to be able to celebrate with her. Also, I'd like to congratulate all of the nominees for their hard work, long time working for the city of Hawthorne. Amazing to see the talent that we have and the work that they've done to make the city of Hawthorne what it is today. So I truly appreciate the work you contribute. You'll be greatly missed, Peggy. I also would like to thank the gentleman who gave the logo presentation and staff for the input that you guys, I'm so excited about the direction that we're going, having a new logo, having a new city hall. We're definitely moving in the right direction. And I can't wait until we win the award, like our fellow folks to the left and to the right for, friendliest city businesses. I just can't wait. We got one award right there. Let's give it up. Yes. So there's many, many more awards to come. We're all working together to make changes and to move our city forward. So just look forward to us getting more awards. We'll probably have an award outside where you guys can see all awards that we'll get. And then lastly, I want to say, have a very, very Thanksgiving. We won't see you guys. Hopefully you guys have as much turkey as possible. Enjoy yourselves and your family. Hold them tight. say prayers for our fellow folks out of the country. And thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilmember Patterson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Want to first thank the community for coming out, participating in the process. Love seeing so many familiar faces that come out every council meeting. I'm not going to name all names, but I thought we were missing the Haggertys for a minute, though, and I got kind of worried. And see, they just moved seats. So good to see you guys are here. Also, and I want to thank staff for all your hard work and the police department. Want to congratulate the Good Neighbor Award winners, Madeline Francis, Catherine, I'm not sure if I got her last name right, Alcantara, and Peggy Holt. Appreciate your contribution to our city. As your kind of commitment to our city as allows us to be successful. So I want to thank you for your contribution. I want to join our, echo Councilmember Montero's statement of wanting to put together a resolution for a ceasefire. So I'll definitely join in that and sign that. I want to thank the city manager and the chief. They provide the council some regular kind of reports on a monthly basis about everything that's happening in throughout the city of Hawthorne and City Hall. Chief is off in a whole different building. I don't get a chance to see him that often. And so those reports kind of let us know about all the calls for service, work that the Traffic Bureau does, all that stuff is very helpful. City manager does so much. I always forget and reminded about all the cool things that are happening. Definitely, I want to ask the city attorney to include his updates with the city managers as well, so we can, have everybody kind of reporting to the council.
I'll provide that by legal confidential by next meeting.
Yeah, on a on a monthly basis. That'd be awesome. And then love the logo presentation. Looking forward to kind of the future of Hawthorne, rebranding of the city, economic development that's coming our way. And I think we have great members on the team. We've gone through a lot of changes the last couple of years, and it seems like it's changes for the good. And with everybody that's all the new faces to the dais and staff, it's really bringing our city in a great direction. So everybody have a great holiday, and see you guys in December.
Councilmember English?
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem, sorry.
Thank you. Real quick, let me just report out on our Bridge of Hope housing. It's our community housing that has been successful by providing 26 people experiencing homelessness have been provided temporary residence since opening May 15th. 12 out of the 26 are currently residing at Bridge of Hope housing. The average stay has been between 3 weeks to 4 months. 5 residents have been permanently housed through emergency housing vouchers, permanent supportive housing, senior assisted living, and individual employment. Excuse me. 3 residents are currently pending housing placement through permanent supportive housing and project-based vouchers. 5 past and current residents completed or are in process, excuse me, of completing the Innovative Workforce Program, which the mayor was instrumental in making sure that there's work programs for those experiencing housing. Excuse me. 9 current residents are enrolled in the second cohort of the Innovative Workforce Program and are in classrooms. The monthly status reports are submitted by La Cata, service provided providing regarding residents, guests, repairs, and security rotations. Bel Air Baptist Church, and thank you to Pastor Jefferson, provides meals for pallet shelter, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All residents receive therapy counseling sessions through telehealth van, and residents receive medical care through services provided by Venice Medical Mobile Van Services. So that's just the great work of this city council and the mayor to give you updates on how our pallet shelter housing is doing and how we collectively can do more And I'm just happy to know that we fulfilled everyone's wishes with regards to assisting those experiencing homelessness. Excuse me. Can I just acknowledge real quick our city clerk? She's Mima, expecting her next grandchild. And so to Dana, congratulations. I know you're not feeling well and you're not here today, but just wanted to say that. I also want to acknowledge all of those that were here in council today. I know it's been long, and I don't want to be redundant with everyone else that has been speaking this evening, but just thank you to our HR and those personnel being acknowledged here today from city departments, for all our presenters, for the new logo. I look forward to seeing how we do, the ultimate revealing of its final, logo, right? But I'm more pressing than anything that, I'm just very upset about has to do with the theft that the city has been experiencing lately. I don't know if residents are aware, but we've had city plaques stolen. We've had memorabilia that we've implemented recently with regards to our capsule stolen. We've had plaques from buildings stolen. It's very upsetting. I know the hard work that went into making these plaques and waiting a period of time for them to be delivered to us, especially working with the Public Works Department and staff to assure that these types of events and functions that we are given plaques and revealings takes a lot of work and effort. I hope that whoever is causing our grief, because truly it is grief for us in the city, that it's come home. You hear it in other cities and you hear it in other communities, but it's here. There's theft here happening on our city property and taking city property. And I don't consider these individuals, whether they're men or women, I believe they're, however you want to say it, immature individuals that obviously are preying on others, and that's us. And so, whatever we need to do in hopes of capturing whoever did this, I hope that is done and vigorously. I also want to speak again on no bail and how important these types of things play. I spoke on this recently about property theft, personal property theft, and here we are in our backyard at our home. So I want everyone to keep that in mind when it comes to responsibility, taking accountability. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to replace this stuff. We're not going to be able to replace it. Why? Because it's going to happen again. And that's the unfortunate part. Again, I just want to express gratitude to our Hawthorne-Lawndale Ministerial Association for hosting the Thanksgiving dinner. That's an annual event that takes place. There's a community cleanup on Saturday, December 9th that's coming up. Very important, along with Caltrans and Clean California. So take advantage of that from 8 till 12 noon, and I'll be a part of that. And I just want to make a directive and provide for the next council meeting, if we could please make a moratorium, place a moratorium on the following autonomous vehicles, mini motorbikes, electric scooters, and golf carts, and car washes. Moratorium. And I also want to express the thanks and gratitude to our city for providing a venue where skateboard individuals can go and actually learn how to skateboard, but more importantly, do it in a safe environment. So I want to commend and kudos to you there. But I think this is very important. Again, our city is growing, and I get that. I understand that. I look forward very much to seeing what the new Civic Center looks like. I'm excited to see a potential, growth of the city when it comes to the Department of Public Works, when it comes to longevity. And this is something that we're striving for and we're trying to do better each and every day. And it takes this council to do that, and it takes partnerships. And so with that, I'm just going to say thank you for this evening. I think we had a great discussion, well-rounded discussions on every effort. But if there's one that just hits me really hard, I just want to call these individuals assholes, because they are. That's stealing property from our city that we work hard on. And, whoever you may be, wherever you may be, it's going to come. Your turn's coming. So I look forward to, again, working on keeping our city safe, and that's what matters. And before I also end, Vaughn, please bring the railroad company, U.S. Railroad, Pacific Railroad, wherever they want to be known, to report out to our city. There's issues that I am concerned on that I'd like to address, and look forward to speaking to them here in council. But thank you.
Operation Gobble.
Oh, yes, my Operation Gobble. If you need a turkey this Thursday, please come to City Hall at 10 o'clock. There'll be turkeys for you. All of our city department heads, all of our city staff. We often do events for the community, but this time it's for you. If you'd like to receive a turkey for your family, please come out. Police, city departments, all staff, all personnel, workforce, and those that would like to get a turkey, provide a turkey. And I'd invite Miss Marie, our city treasurer, to come so that I could provide you some so that you could give out to your community members and those that you've been helping for your years, and anyone else. At our churches, I know there's been churches reaching me, contacting me, and we're going to be providing turkeys to churches and even some outside the city. This is something I usually don't do because I want to make sure we're providing for Hawthorne first, but there's great need. There's great need everywhere, and I get it. So I'll be more than happy to assist with what I have. However, Hawthorne's first. Thank you.
So, can you please repeat the items for moratorium? Because I think, it's like very, impassioned there, and I just missed the...
The, what do you call it? I can't even say it now.
Autonomous
autonomous vehicles, mini motorbikes, the little mini
e-bikes.
tiny motorbikes that
The
you
motorbikes.
see, that you can't even see them and they're under your car literally.
The e-bikes?
Mini motorbikes, electric scooters, golf carts, and car washes.
Can we throw e-bikes in there?
E-bikes.
All right, can we, like as a discussion item, so we could talk about them and just,
We're going to add them to the agenda, and for the.
whatever's most appropriate. But as long as we get a chance to discuss it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Not
That's why
I'm on board
That's
with a
why
lot
I'm
of that. so
asking to include those.
Not I'm not like
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Was there like a go back from anybody?
I was
Okay.
just gonna make a comment.
I have a go back. I'm sorry, Mayor.
Let's go.
No, I was just gonna say, are those the turkey? Can I request one, but cooked?
Yes.
Cooked.
And I'm gonna. I want to express my gratitude to all those that have assisted and have provided, including our city manager, who's taken this, by the horns, and he's been very supportive. Our police department, our chief, our HPOA, our department heads. Everyone that contributed to assure that there's, this is the 16th annual turkey giveaway. I started this in 2005. I'm very fortunate to have partners and have friends that partner with me each year to assure that families that have a need are provided a great meal for Thanksgiving. And there's other businesses too, but I'll acknowledge them at a later time, and I'll make sure to give recognition in City Council after our event's over with. But thank you. Yes.
We're good? Good. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, I have a series of things today, so let's just go through it. I do agree the no bail policy that's been set out is very disastrous. A lot of people are enjoying getting back out on the street, or not even going into jail and just being free to do what they do. There has to be some type of repercussion for somebody's bad behavior, and that's being taken away. Okay? and it prevents our police from doing their job. Again, I go back to the issue with the Target on 120th Street. I know that it's very important to celebrate our city and how beautiful it is, and it's true. But one thing we can't ignore is the theft that's been taking place at some of our locales. And I remember I mentioned that, like, down every, like, the cosmetics area, the shaving men's products, etc., all the way down, laundry detergent even. So I counted about 15 glass cases at Target. And I went, and I know Councilmember Montero mentioned, oh, no, it's happening everywhere. No, it's not. I went to the Baldwin Park Target, like 1 or 2 glass cases. I went to the Manhattan Beach one, 1 or 2 glass cases. Hawthorne has 15 up to 20. Something very problematic is happening at our Target. And I'm going to, you supplied us with the pink paper? Okay, legal confidential. So whatever, we're going to take a look at that. But as a directive, Mr. City Manager, I can't go to shop at Target, and I have to be pressing the button so somebody comes open up the glass case so that I can look at the difference between shaving creams and stuff. And they're standing there all restless, hoping that I make my decision quickly while I look through the products that I want to look at the ingredients and or whatever the heck I'm going to put on my face. You know what I'm saying? So can we set up a meeting with the Target management, our police department, and myself, and maybe another person from council that wants to maybe be there, just to see what the issues are and why they take in the direction that they have. Has this already been communicated to you, Chief, as to why they're doing that, or can we still have that?
No, sir, not directly.
Okay, so let's just have that conversation with them, see why they're doing, because we just need to have a different, when people walk in there, they need to not see that. And so we need to see what we can do to be creative with our law enforcement and our prosecutorial efforts. Right, Mr. City Attorney? Okay, that's the spirit. Thank you, sir. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, but let's schedule. I think it's important. I don't give too many directives, but on that one, I'm just really kind of. It's just really. It's very personal for me because it's our hometown, right? Yeah. I took a ride with one of the members from the North Hawthorne Community Association, which pinpointed some of the problem areas in the north of Hawthorne and other parts of Hawthorne, on Ramona, et cetera, and other locations where there's homeless encampments. We still have homeless encampments, okay? It's, as you guys heard, they're still investigating this fire that happened under the bridge over here in East LA, under the I-10 interchange. It's highly suspected that somebody set it on fire. They don't want to say it because they don't want to jump conclusion, but there's a possibility it could have been homeless population. Okay? But we have evidence of our own. Our police department, along with our LA County Fire Division, has proof that over the last 5 years, there's been yearly, there's been 2 or 3 fires. How many fires every year, Chief, along the 105 did we used to have, or have we had?
I'd be confident in saying there's at least 4 fires each year along the freeway embankments through our city.
That's very problematic, okay? People who refuse to get help. You were trying to find locations for them to be housed. There's one on Imperial Highway, and that's cool and everything. That's good. That's charity is very important. It's one of the things that God asks us to do. But when we find some of these individuals trying to break into people's cars, trying to jumping over people's fences, washing themselves and bathing themselves in front of the lawns, defecating and urinating in the streets, and children see them, I don't care what you say. That's unexcusable. If I did that, there'd be a problem. If Councilmember Patterson or any of the ladies here, anybody, I'm sorry I put it that way, we would be going to jail. There would be no questions asked. What's the difference? I just think we just have to have a heavier hand, and this has gone too much. Okay? We're starting to see people parking their RVs in some parts of our city. We have to go clean that up. Have you guys gone down El Segundo Boulevard, like in the LA County, LA area? All along, these beat up RVs. We can't let that happen to our city. We have to be generous in our charity, but we also have to protect our community, our children, and our families. we just need to be very careful. So we just need to be as creative, Mr. City Attorney, Mr. Police Chief, on what we can do for that. It's unacceptable. We just can't let that happen, you know. Excuses after excuses, okay? Some people make choices in their lives, you know? I could have easily gone that path. People here could have gone a certain path, but there's, you know, sometimes you're a result of your choices too, guys. Not
Okay,
everybody's born into that.
Mr. Mayor, one of the lady set up a fire on the all the ATM machines on Chase right here.
Yeah.
They did burn all the ATMs outside.
So as part of that drive around that I did, I saw gates open over there on the down, I think, Ramona. It turns into Fermona all the way up on the 105. Gates open, like cut open, you know? Access gate torn apart, you know, like the fencing cut up and people coming in and out. When I drive to work every day, I go down Imperial and I go onto the freeway over there in Freeman, over there where the taco place is. And I go into the freeway and to the left hand, like every week they're clearing that from like tents and stuff all the time. So it's just, you know, yeah, I think we need to look for out for our residents first. That's my priority, and I think you guys understand. All right. So tomorrow, I just wanted to mention something else. I'm going to be going back to my alma mater, Cal State Dominguez Hills. Some people might have seen it on my social media. So I have some colleagues that are out there. Los Angeles, we're all alumni, so we're fellow classmates from Cal State Dominguez Hills. Los Angeles' Mayor Karen Bass, Long Beach Mayor Rex Richardson, Carson Mayor Lula Davis Holmes, and Compton's Mayor Emma Sharif, and yours truly, Hawthorne Mayor Alex Vargas. We all graduated from Dominguez Hills, so we're going to be recognized tomorrow. I'm excited to go back in good company. You know, 5 mayors from one school, so I guess somebody took note and figured that out. I didn't even know that these guys, my colleagues, were graduates of Cal State Dominguez Hills, but, you know, we were friends before all this stuff. So, you know, it's like, oh, wow. So I can see where the spirit, you know, activist spirit comes from these mayors that I mentioned.
It's at 3, right?
It's at 5:30. You going to be there?
5:30.
Try to be there, 5:30 to 7, 5 o'clock to about 6:30. Okay, so we're going to be doing that. Okay, so I want to just delve into this thing about the Gaza thing. I know there was a call for us to have like a resolution or a letter, etc. I think we just have to be very careful. I think we have to be very careful. I just want to propose something different as opposed to a resolution, because we have members of our community who are of the Muslim faith who have relatives over there. And they're being impacted. It's awful. It's a war. They're being impacted. Relatives of theirs are dying. Claims of, it's been said that it's been over 10,000 people that have been killed, and that's awful. I feel for them. Sometimes it seems indiscriminate. Okay, but then we have members of our community who are also Jewish, who are also Christians of faith, who are very supportive of the Jewish-Israeli cause too, that argue that if we call for a ceasefire, that it will only serve for Hamas to rearm themselves and to reposition themselves and to barricade themselves and get ready for any other intrusion and start preparing for themselves to go on the offensive. So we have two sides, and it's personally, I'm going to ask my colleagues, you know, it'd be hard to drag us into voting for a resolution that would make me and some of my other colleagues here choose a side on this issue. So I want to just suggest, and I don't know what the rest of the council is, that if you guys want to write a letter, just put your name to the letter as opposed to voting on a resolution, because it's a very sensitive issue. And if I vote no to that, then I upset my Muslim community members. If I vote yes for it, I'm going to upset my Jewish community members and some members of Christian faith who are very supportive of Israel. And if I abstain, then I'm going to be criticized for not taking a position and not having a backbone and all this stuff, when all I want to do is not go there when it comes to this. So if you guys are okay, if you guys want to write a letter, just letterhead with the 2 of your names or anybody else's name, if you guys could just proceed that way, that'd be better.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but
And
I'm
I just
fine
wanted
with
to lay
that
it out.
too. I just want peace, both sides.
Well, I'm fine with that, but it's not about taking sides because what's happening is the ceasefire is to give opportunity to deliver humanitarian resources, to the Palestinian, right? Like medical supplies, because you've seen kids that has been wrapped into foil. They don't have no even blanket. So it's just to deliver supplies to the hospitals and food because they're suffering. It's not to take sides of Israel or the Palestinians because we know this conflict has been going on for generation. So it's just like I said, we hope for peace and to make sure that those families and children have access to medical care, to food, to blankets, et cetera, et cetera. That's it.
It's awful, and you're right. I mean, there's collateral damage. There's people, but geez, man, even though people argue that this land was taken away from the Palestinians when Israel was formed, or the Jews who formed Israel had a right to go back. So it's all that stuff all mixed up, right? And I think the focus is here that there's a lot of peace-loving people living in Palestine that totally disagree with what Hamas did. They disagree with that. So it's just a mix. So if you guys could do that, that'd be better, please. Okay, thank you. All right, and could we have a moment of silence for all those people who died? Because it's really sad seeing that stuff, the babies, the people who passed, please. May they all rest in peace. Let's keep on praying for them. Okay, thank you guys. So the meeting part, please, sir, with the target people, and at the same time, we could talk about the homeless people during that meeting, just all in one scoop. Whoever wants to join, if we could set that up. All right, thank you guys. We have item number 29. Could you please read that?
Item 29, conference with real property negotiator and legal counsel pursuant to California Government Code Sections 54956.8, 54954B, property approximately .91 acres of land located at 13007 Yukon Avenue, APN 4050-014-002, agency negotiator, Vontre Norris, city manager. Other party, 13007 Yukon Avenue, Hawthorne LLC. Under negotiation, price and terms of payment.
Does anybody want to speak on item 29? I don't see anyone, so if there's no objections, oral communication is close ordered. We will now recess the city council meeting to conduct a closed session for a conference pursuant to the agenda at 8:33 p.m. We are in recess.
The City of Hawthorne has revised the Hawthorne Municipal Code 12.04.031 pertaining to sidewalk repair and maintenance. The revised code places new duties and obligations on the property owners adjacent to sidewalks in conformance with the California Streets and Highways Code. The revised municipal code section can be found online at the website shown on the screen. A copy of section 12.04.031 is also available from the city clerk's office. Property owners are encouraged to consult their own legal counsel or insurance companies if they have questions about the legal impact of the new code section.
How to obtain a business certificate in the City of Hawthorne. First, check to make sure you have fulfilled all state and county business requirements such as becoming a legal entity, acquiring an EIN number, registering your business with the Secretary of State, obtaining any specialty licenses or permits, etc. To obtain a business tax certificate in the City of Hawthorne, check local zoning regulations. Come to the business license office for the business license or tax certificate packet. There's also a downloadable version online at www.cityofhawthorne.org/departments/finance/licensing/licensing-forms. Submit your completed application to the business license office for processing. Please only answer questions that pertain to the type of business you wish to operate. Not all items listed will apply. You may ask who will review your application for approval. The application will first go to the planning department to confirm the potential location is zoned for your business type. If you come into the office, you will walk your application to the planning office and they will send you back to business licensing if approved to pay for the business tax certificate. If not approved, you are not eligible for a business tax certificate. Options are to move to a properly zoned area or dissolve the business within the City of Hawthorne. Next, the application will be reviewed and approved by our Building and Safety Department. If your business applies, who will contact you to schedule an inspection of the physical property? Follow-up inspections may be necessary. Then, the application will be sent to the Hawthorne Police Department and LA County Fire Department, who will check for issues associated with the address such as excessive calls and more. The city manager and finally the city attorney will review what businesses are coming to the city, ensure all proper steps or approvals have been taken, and that there is no pending or past litigation against the proposed business. Upon final approval, a business tax certificate is created and mailed. This document is not given over the counter. Note, if your application is denied by any department involved in the approval process, please follow up with that department directly. What you should know: business tax certificates expire December 31st and renew annually January 1st to 31st. Taxes paid after January 31st will incur a 25% monthly penalty until 100% is reached. Taxes are based on flat fees or gross sales from the previous year. At renewal time, gross receipts are given. Calculations can result in an adjustment of taxes owed or credited. Please call the licensing office when trying to calculate your business tax for accuracy. If you have a credit, it will be applied to the next year's taxes. The city does not accept partial payments. If you do not have a business tax certificate, you may not conduct business in the City of Hawthorne.
Every day, over 100 Americans die from secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke in children can cause asthma, ear infections, and increased risk of sudden infant death syndrome. Go to smokefreehomesla.com. Learn how you can protect your home from secondhand smoke.
The City of Hawthorne has revised the Hawthorne Municipal Code 12.04.031 pertaining to sidewalk repair and maintenance. The revised code places new duties and obligations on the property owners adjacent to sidewalks in conformance with the California Streets and Highways Code. The revised municipal code section can be found online at the website shown on the screen. A copy of section 12.04.031 is also available from the city clerk's office. Property owners are encouraged to consult their own legal counsel or insurance companies if they have questions about the legal impact of the new code section.
How to obtain a business certificate in the City of Hawthorne. First, check to make sure you have fulfilled all state and county business requirements such as becoming a legal entity, acquiring an EIN number, registering your business with the Secretary of State, obtaining any specialty licenses or permits, etc. To obtain a business tax certificate in the City of Hawthorne, check local zoning regulations. Come to the business license office for the business license or tax certificate packet. There's also a downloadable version online at www.cityofhawthorne.org/department/finance/licensing/licensing-forms. Submit your completed application to the business license office for processing. Please only answer questions that pertain to the type of business you wish to operate. Not all items listed will apply. You may ask who will review your application for approval. The application will first go to the planning department to confirm the potential location is zoned for your business type. If you come into the office, you will walk your application to the planning office and they will send you back to business licensing if approved to pay for the business tax certificate. If not approved, you are not eligible for a business tax certificate. Options are to move to a properly zoned area or dissolve the business within the City of Hawthorne. Next, the application will be reviewed and approved by our Building and Safety Department. If your business applies, who will contact you to schedule an inspection of the physical property? Follow-up inspections may be necessary. Then, the application will be sent to the Hawthorne Police Department and LA County Fire Department, who will check for issues associated with the address such as excessive calls and more. The city manager and finally the city attorney will review what businesses are coming to the city, ensure all proper steps or approvals have been taken, and that there is no pending or past litigation against the proposed business. Upon final approval, a business tax certificate is created and mailed. This document is not given over the counter. Note, if your application is denied by any department involved in the approval process, please follow up with that department directly. What you should know: business tax certificates expire December 31st and renew annually January 1st to 31st. Taxes paid after January 31st will incur a 25% monthly penalty until 100% is reached. Taxes are based on flat fees or gross sales from the previous year. At renewal time, gross receipts are given. Calculations can result in an adjustment of taxes owed or credited. Please call the licensing office when trying to calculate your business tax for accuracy. If you have a credit, it will be applied to the next year's taxes. The city does not accept partial payments. If you do not have a business tax certificate, you may not conduct business in the city of Hawthorne.
Every day, over 100 Americans die from secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke in children can cause asthma, ear infections, and increased risk of sudden infant death syndrome. Go to smokefreehomesla.com. Learn how you can protect your home from secondhand smoke.
The City of Hawthorne has revised the Hawthorne Municipal Code 12.04.031 pertaining to sidewalk repair and maintenance. The revised code places new duties and obligations on the property owners adjacent to sidewalks in conformance with the California Streets and Highways Code. The revised municipal code section can be found online at the website shown on the screen. A copy of section 12.04.031 is also available from the city clerk's office. Property owners are encouraged to consult their own legal counsel or insurance companies if they have questions about the legal impact of the new code section.
Present. We've met in a closed session conference pursuant to the agenda listed as item 29. City Attorney Kim will provide a readout.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Met in closed session, the council has directed the agency negotiator and the city attorney.
That's it. If there's nothing further from council members or staff, this meeting is adjourned at 9:12.